Scott Brown first attracted national attention when he won the Senate seat long held by Ted Kennedy. He is now in the spotlight once again, though for a very different reason. The Massachusetts senator has a new book out today that reveals how he was sexually and physically abused as a child. Last night on 60 Minutes, he told Lesley Stahl how the book actually helped him reconcile with his parents and how he is learning to live his life under increased public scrutiny.
With this book, don't you think it's going to be twice as much?
Really? See, I don't think that.
But it's awfully intimate. It's like going on Oprah and spilling it all out there.
Well, it's who I am. I can't hide from who I am. It's what happened.
Well, you didn't have to tell it.
Yeah, but and it's like half truths. I like to just get it out there.
Senator Brown's autobiography, Against All Odds, is available today. He joins us here in the studio now. You told Lesley you just kind of wanted to get it all out there. Why now, though?
Well, it's part of who I am. It's a small part, but there's a whole lot more. And I felt by glossing over the tough parts and just focusing on the really nice things, it's a disservice to the reader, and it's not who I am.
It's tough to read. It's very graphic. You're very descriptive in the abuse that you endured, the sexual abuse and the physical abuse. When it comes to the sexual abuse, your parents didn't really know about it. Your wife didn't know the extent of it until you wrote about it for the book. Was this the best way for you to put it forth, was to write about it?
I wasn't going to, but then as I was wrestling with actually doing it, I felt it was important to let others know that even under those tough circumstances, if you should fight back, number one, and you should tell somebody. And if I can, by bringing it forward, somebody who's a high elected official can talk about it, it'll hopefully help other people deal with their abuse situations as well.
And you've focused on this since you came into office.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been beating a drum over it, but every time when I deal with issues of crime and punishment, I come down on the rights of victims and certainly try to strengthen our sex offender laws and deal with issues affecting abuse victims.
Your abuser, correct me if I'm wrong, but under Massachusetts law, you could actually still file charges against your abuser. You've chosen not to. Why?
Well, I'm a forward looker. It's hard to look back, obviously, and it's taken 42 years to even really talk about it. And I'm not out to settle any scores, but if I can help people certainly move forward with their lives by talking about it. And he's probably 70 years old. I don't even know if he's alive. I wouldn't even know where to begin to look, and I'm focusing on so many more important things in my life right now.
This has obviously shaped you so much. When we read about the physical abuse that you endured, you went through, between your two parents, 7 marriages. You moved, what, 17 times by the time you were 18?
Yeah, it's actually 8 marriages, but yeah.
When you talk about, though, one stepfather in particular, and I'm just going to read something from the book. Well, my friends worry about their grades, whether their parents would let them borrow the car, or about fights with their girlfriends. I was thinking, is tonight going to be the night when Larry finally breaks my hands? That same Larry would say to you after beating you at night, when you're asleep, I'll take you out. That's when I'll come in. How did enduring that, living through that, how did that contribute to the Scott Brown that we know today?
Well, I'm always very aware of my surroundings. I'm always on guard with the kids, especially. I'm like, when you go here, make sure you have somebody. I've taught them to be aware. And now that they're older, they now say, oh, that's why Dad's like that. It's certainly made me a fighter. It's made me somebody who wants to be a protector of not only my family, but my mom and my sister.
It doesn't paint your mom necessarily perhaps in the most flattering light, either one of your parents. You had reconciled with your parents, but for them to read about this, what's your mother's reaction?
They're obviously, they know their shortcomings, but to have it out there certainly is difficult. But we're like many other families, and some families are much worse. We're a work in progress. We will always be a work in progress, but they love me, I love them, and we've had a full reconciliation. This has actually been a very positive. When you read the whole book, you'll see how we all come together at the end for a common goal. And the one thing my mom taught me is never give up. You know, work hard, 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 and never give up.
When you look at your own family, you, your wife Gail, you have 2 daughters. Ayla, of course, we know well here, is a special contributor on the early show. Exactly.
Yeah,
a lot of folks know Ayla. What was it like for your girls as they're learning more about their dad and your past, which you hadn't talked all that much about?
I haven't talked really much at all. Ayla actually called me last night. She's in Colorado singing, and she read it and she finished it. She said, "Dad, it's a very powerful book. I'm glad I read it." And she just said she loves me, and life goes on.
Is that really what it's all about?
I think it is. You have to know when to move on and when to, leave things behind and when to focus on challenges and opportunities ahead.
There's been some comparison to this book in some ways being your audacity of hope. It's very revealing. It's intimate. Is this in any way, too, as people look at this, are we going to see you perhaps making a presidential bid in 2012?
No, I'm running for re-election to the United States Senate. I'm deeply honored to represent the people of Massachusetts. This is a book, obviously, when I won, people wanted to write a book, and this was an opportunity to do so. And I felt, once again, that it was important to get everything out, not just the good things. It's great to write great things about yourself and pat yourself on the back, but I think people, I'm hopeful, will want to see a total picture and understand that even when things aren't good, if you have good people behind you, in my case, coaches, a judge, and some teachers, you can break that cycle and you can move forward. So it's a very hopeful book. It's
a revealing book, and it is. It really grabs you from the minute you open it.
I hope you enjoy the rest of it.
I will. Thanks for coming in this morning, Senator. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
The book, again, is Against All Odds, and it is available today.